Good rainy morning. We're walking on the kind of the north side of St. Mary's Abbey Wall here, and gonna head to the National Railway Museum, which rail was a big deal here in York. Let's go check this out. Through the swirly, curly gumdrop forest, and then the Lincoln Tunnel. Okay, that was a surprisingly long walk, but they're under construction, so we had to wind ourselves away around the whole building. Believe it or not, that is a free museum. They ask for donations, and if you're a UK citizen, you can use gift aid to help you out. The National Railway Museum's main hall is a massive cavernous space full of train history and locomotives. From the 1500s to the modern day, see the people, equipment, and trains that created the legacy of the railways of Great Britain and the world. Possibly the first railway was just this little Hun cart with just flat boards to keep the surface level on it, and then it was a technology improvement to actually add rails, wooden rails, to keep the cart on the track instead of slipping off. This is kind of cool. So it's the wagons here, wagon right there, and the rail was laid first, and they would pull it by horses along these rails, like for mines and things like that. And it wasn't until later they actually developed an engine to pull it versus just horses. Like here's even a picture of the horse pulling it, except it's real similar to, you know, the canals and the canal barges that were pulled by horses, and that was a really efficient way of pulling goods across land. And, you know, and that dates to the 1650s and the 1700s. It was very popular. I don't know if this is the first, but it's an example of a connection between canal and rail in 1826. The Duke of Rutland wanted to connect his house to the canal, but the height was too high. It would have taken too many locks. It wasn't practical. So they built a railway up to his house to haul goods. This little part dates to 1826, but that rail connection to the canal happened in 1814. That is some cool tech. This Agenoria is kind of cool. It's got a piston right here that is set vertically, so it goes up and down, and it's got a rocker there, so the boiler is running steam, running this piston that's pushing that rocker up and down, and then that's got kind of an up and down motion on the wheels that's pushing them along. Some more historic. This is like for mining here, for going up steep runs. So you have the smooth wheels right here for running on the rail track, and then they've got a cog system right here, the cog rail, and then a cog wheel that's connected to the carriage also, or to the wagon, so you can get up steep slopes by click, 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 kind of like the cog railways of today. This is a cool cutaway cross-section of the Atlantic Coast Express, showing you how the steam train would work. This is the firebox here. All the coal would be in there. You can kind of see the coal, all the heat would go up. and then go through the tubes into the boiler where it would be boiling the water to make the steam to power all the pistons to run the train. Early steam engines didn't have enough power to get up the hills, so they'd put devices like this on the hills to pull them up. Okay, this is a statue of George Stephenson, and here he is in Euston Hall, and he was the father of the railways. I'm learning here, and is known for his early engineering work, including the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, which was this, like the first passenger line. And I love this. Stevenson educated himself through night school and made his fortune through his engineering skills. So if you study engineering, you too can make your fortune. Here's the Liverpool to Manchester, and they have one of these cars. I think that's a people car. They can ride in an open air top, or you can take this fancy one.
First class.
It actually has a carriage, yeah. In 1829, the Liverpool and Manchester Railway had a competition to see what type of engine was the best to haul carriages and wagons on a rail line. Was it horses? Was it stationary engines with like cables down the track? Or was it steam locomotives? And the Rocket, which was a steam locomotive designed by Robert Stephenson, won and essentially kicked off the first mainline railway system between two cities. It's like a real engineering turntable here, where they can get all these trains in. And here it is. I wonder how they got all of these in here. I mean, they're all on these tracks. So maybe they wheeled them in, and it's very close to the York train station, you know? So I wonder if can they drive them into the shed, and they take them on that turntable and then put them on the sides there?
Hooked up to them and then pulled them into this thing and turned them around where they wanted them to go.
That is really cool.
It is very cool.
This is, we're curious, there's something called a dynamometer car, but we're finding out this is the fastest surviving steam-hauled railway carriage in the world. It recorded like the record-breaking moments in railway history. Maybe the dynamometer or something was how they figured out the speed. But
Laboratory on wheels.
It was a lab on wheels, okay.
Changing how quickly locomotives use fuel and water, as well as speed, distance, and power.
Okay, so you could measure all the crucials of a train, including the speed. So they hooked it up, and this says it captured the speed record set by Mallard in 1938, and the moment the Flying Scotsman hit 100 miles per hour in 1934. So that was a super record. I remember like stories of the Flying Scotsman, not from 1934, but growing up. So very cool. It's got LNER marking on it. It's the London North East Railway. That's who we took to come over, or at least that's the the app I use now for making railway ticket reservations. There was a rivalry between competing companies. The LNER, London North East Railway, against the London Midland Scottish Railway. They would build these fantastic high-speed coaches and passenger trains and compete in this north-south run to Scotland. All right, here it is. The Mallard hooked up to the barometer car, setting the world speed record for steam engines. 126 miles per hour on July 3rd, 1938. It's a Pullman. Futuristic steam train, boilers set high. It was the KF7, one of the largest steam locomotives ever invented, made for tracks in China. They had to spread out the weight of all the axles, that's why it was so long, and it needed a lot of power to get up and down the hills in China. And all civilized rail museums have a nice cafe. Cafe is made out of steam pipes. We're in a side hall here that's full of all kinds of station memorabilia, and then a tribute to the Flying Scotsman. I guess it's the year anniversary from 1923. So this says Sir Nigel Gresley was a chief mechanical engineer of the LNER and designed a fleet of express passenger engines dubbed the A1 class. It was built in Doncaster in 1923 and then dubbed the Flying Scotsman. That was the third of this fleet of engines, the A1 class. And he received a knighthood for designing and building it. But it was a fast passengers train that went from London to Edinburgh. A super fancy dining car. And bar car. Look, there's the bar. Trying to figure out if the Flying Scotsman is actually here. It's got like some sign somewhere where it says it's either here or out on the track somewhere. So like it still operates now, but we've been looking all over. We find lots of memorabilia and stuff, but we haven't found it yet. It's a mystery. This is like the Indiana Jones warehouse of stuff. Train stuff, yeah. There's probably an arc of the Flying Scotsman in here somewhere. But there's also like a platform 9 3/4. We can see platform 9 up there on top down there, but wondering if that's like actually real Harry Potter paraphernalia. Oh, there's 9, see right up there. We came under 9S right there, and as we were walking through, we turned around on the back side of 9S. There it is, we found it.
The model was built by the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway to train their staff, and it had a very long working life from 1913 right through to 1995.
Here's the canal barge going over a viaduct over one of the rivers there. Southern Railway was the first to begin mass electrification of trains in the 1920s. And making it travel a lot more reliable and made more consistent timetables. This is like very modern Art Deco design. Who was that? That was designed?
Yes, based on French designs by the car maker Bugatti.
Oh, Bugatti, cool. Looked like a Bugatti of trains. Here's the track and the big gate, the door that they can pull the trains into this big shed in. All right, we moved up into diesel power with the Type 4 D200 1958. Here's the big diesel engine. This engine was used to power an electric generator that then drove all of the equipment on the train, piston driven. You think one day this might be a small nuclear power plant driving steam to generate electricity? Who knows? Here's the Shinkansen, the Osaka to Tokyo Express that took 2.5 hours, traveled at 130 miles per hour. We're going in. The train to space.
Yeah, in 1960.
Exactly. I feel like I should be going like a spaceship. This looks like some construction vehicles, like tunnelers and stuff. Future of trains, the maglev train is going to travel at 300 miles an hour.
Now this is a high-speed train.
That's very futuristic.
Need a little force, huh?
I know. I need a steam engine to run this for me. There we go.
Pop. Gorgeous.
Okay, as a little boy in a train store, that was fantastic. I would definitely go do that. It's like got all the historic trains you might see in the history books, like when you're growing up learning about it in school. And man, what a super time. Like lots of cool trains and history and just the whole development of trains in the UK. I mean, this is the National Railway Museum, right?
Yeah.
So this is the where you go. Shortcut back to the train station. Well, it's probably really a long cut. We get to see the train station. Don't have to turn off the museum yet. Flying step, and there it is, right there. That's fun. Okay, you're gonna stick in the excellent. We missed lunch, but there's always time for beer.
Refreshing.
If you like this content, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing.